need to do. But let's move into Adam's segment. Adam,
Yeah. So
what's going on, man?
What?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm all right. It's been a long weekend.
You've been pretty quiet over there, but that's okay. So
No.
what I'll say is tell me about this race for the bottom of the playoff spot in the West. Tell me about it a little bit.
Yeah, so Andrew and I spoke about the top team in the East last week because that's a little bit more clear cut as far as the top. I mean, Seattle is most likely the top of the West, but those top three teams, you could realistically argue that any one of them could finish in the top spot. But if you look a little further down the table, it is just a mess. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams are within 3 points of each other for those last 4 spots for the playoffs. I mean, it's a whole nother argument, but like too many teams in this league make playoffs. Like we've said it, too many times. You don't have to be good throughout the season to make a playoff spot.
Yep.
Like, how many of these teams have 2-3 wins and could potentially make the playoffs right now?
Too many.
Yeah, like that. You can't do that. I mean, we can all realistically assume that the Galaxy are out, right? Everyone's good with that?
I would hope so.
Okay. Connor, you're good?
You never know. They could. I don't think they will, but honestly, you really never know.
I mean,
he's right. You don't know.
I mean, Chicharito's most meaningful contribution this year has been fighting with Wando last game against the Earthquakes. So, but then we have like RSL, Vancouver, and Houston in those bottom 3, like outside the playoff spots, but who could all I say realistically, but having as good a chance as anyone of sneaking in to that last spot. San Jose could fall out. Dallas has been hit and miss. And then once you start getting to like the LAFCs, the Minnesotas, you think those teams are probably fairly safe. But it's just whoever gets that last spot, I want to say deserves it because obviously they must have had some sort of late season push where they did well enough to get the results. But at the same time, barely squeaking into a playoff spot in a league where everybody makes the playoffs is not something to celebrate. Like, you barely cross the finish line. You don't get a participation trophy. This is not my 7-year-old boys team. This is not the way this league works. I know we'll get into it in a little bit, but RSL have a real issue scoring. Vancouver, anytime anyone puts an 8 out of 10 performance in, immediately gets sold. Houston is bipolar in terms of results. I mean, they'll destroy like an LA or a Dallas and then lose to Miami 2-0. Colorado pains me to say because I said they were going to finish top 3 this year before everything kind of fell apart, but they just haven't looked on it so far. And who knows what's going on with San Jose.
They're getting hot, but I think none of their fans think it's gonna stay in. I posted that video in the Reddit, and they're like, "Yeah, are we happy? Yeah. Do we think it's gonna stay? No."
Right, and I'd have to imagine that the players probably feel the same way. At least those that have been on that Earthquakes team for a while and kind of know their history.
Yep. So, who do we think is taking? We'll say. I'm going to look at the standings here for a second. Hold, please. Just a score update, by the way, since we're here. We are in the middle of the games for tonight. Chicago's still up 2-1 on DC United. Cincinnati's losing 0-1 against TFC. Nashville and SKC tied 1-1. Philly up 2-1 on Montreal. Portland, San Jose tonight, and I'll be watching that game. And then we start the week anew on the 14th. So, anyway, standings. Fun. We're looking at the Western Conference. You've got from 6 to 12, and we'll kick Galaxy out. 6 to 11 is separated by 3 points. You've got Dallas, San Jose, Colorado, Houston, Vancouver, RSL. Who takes the 3 spots out of those 6 teams?
So 6, 7, 8 is what you're saying.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8. We'll say 1 through 5 is probably going to stay there. Maybe Minnesota slips up a little bit.
Okay.
Not in any particular order. I think I really want to say Vancouver will sneak in, but I'd be very surprised if they actually did. Of the teams that are currently not in a playoff spot, I think Houston takes the last one. I think they have enough going forward that once they can kind of just pack people behind the ball and figure out that back line, I think that going forward they'll have enough to start getting.
Out of curiosity, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Who do you think they have going forward?
Darwin.
That's it.
all you need.
That's all you need. Andrew, we've been over this. That's all you need.
I was about to say, because Elise is gone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
you
it's
have
gone.
Darwin.
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 Just Darwin. All right,
And
mate.
Memo.
And,
Memo.
yeah, Darwin and Memo is all you need.
All right, mate. As long as that makes you happy. So who out of the
Ghost
top
Tommy
three,
Mac.
who stop? Who out of the top 3 doesn't make it then?
Out of 6, 7, 8, you mean? Who are
Yeah,
currently in?
Dallas, San Jose, Colorado. Who doesn't make it?
Probably Colorado.
Oh no, you can't. You're not allowed
Wow.
to say that. You're
I
not allowed
know.
to derail your own train.
Fine, San Jose.
There you go.
All right, Connor. What about you? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the 3 that are in the playoffs right now are all going to be in the playoffs at the end.
Wow, how very original of you. Very, very thought-provoking. You know what would make me really happy? It won't happen. If Dallas just fell off the face of the earth again like they did in 2016 and just missed the playoffs. You want to know why? Because nobody would care. Not a single person would be like, oh my God, I can't believe Dallas fell out again. Because I guarantee you half of us thought they weren't in the playoff race. The other half thought they were probably top 3. But nobody knows because they're FC Dallas. Personally, I think San Jose ride this. They'll stay. I think Colorado falls out. I think Dallas barely holds on. I want to say Vancouver get hot because I think eventually all their players are going to come back healthy and they're all going to play together at some point, and they're going to get hot. They're going to sneak into 8.
So who else is missing other than their goalie?
Well, they keep selling players, right? So my
Right,
other
that's
thought
the issue. Is those guys aren't coming back.
So add that there. So while there are some of them who are hurt, they also have these players who are trying to fit into their roles. Eventually, they'll gel and they'll get it. Do I think it'll be within the next 6 games? Maybe. I don't know. I hope so because – and you keep shaking your head like no. They're 3 points out of – they're 2 points out – they're 1 point out of 8th.
I said I hope Vancouver does it. I just don't think they will.
You're a doubter.
I feel like both of you are sleeping on Colorado a lot.
I mean,
They sold
They're-
Kai Kamara, who's their striker now.
They're in the playoff spot right now with 4 games in hand.
yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't even notice that. That's on me. Yeah, Colorado stays.
Plus, in their last 4 games, they won 5-0. The last 4-1. They won 2-0 and they won 5-0.
So that's on me. I thought they were still up to date with all their games. I forgot they've gotten all of their games canceled.
Yeah.
Which also makes you keep in mind LA Galaxy have 2 games in hand too, or a
Yeah,
game.
Galaxy suck.
But they're only 1 win out of 10th, and then a point out of 8th.
That might be asking a lot.
Yeah.
It might be, or Chicharito gets super hot super quick.
I mean, you realize Miami have more wins than they do, and Miami couldn't win for the first 9 games of their existence.
All right. Side note: what happens if LA Galaxy finish dead last after signing Chicharito and Pavone? What happens? Do they just blow the whole thing up and go again? That's a
Like
conversation.
dead last in the West in the entire
Dead last period.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
They're not.
They're
They've got
horrible.
Cincy. But
Yeah.
all right, food for thought later. But yeah, no. All right, Colorado's going to stay because they've got those games in hands. I didn't realize. You know what? FC Dallas might genuinely fall out. I couldn't tell you, Connor. You could quiz me right now and tell me what were FC Dallas's last 3 results. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't. I don't know anything about FC Dallas.
think it's a lot of like 0-0 draws.
Yeah, I feel like they just
Nah,
tie
they-
everything 0-0.
What do you mean? They
They've
lost.
scored.
They
they've
just lost to
scored-
Houston, and then they tied Columbus, and then they tied Orlando.
All
Yeah,
0
they've-
right?
And their last
No,
4
Columbus
games,
game
they
was 2-2.
scored in one of the games.
Yeah, the Columbus
Yeah.
game was 2-0.
I think FC Dallas is going to fall out because they just can't get wins, and I think Vancouver gets hot and moves in. Maybe Houston too. I don't know. I think Houston doesn't. I don't like Houston, so I'm going to say not Houston. Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
right. It's a biased pick. What are you going to do about it?
Vancouver have a very easy solution to all of their issues.
Fun fact: you know who the only DP signed as a defender is right now?
Ali Adnan.
Ali Adnan. I looked it up. Hype Trey.
Telling you, if they want to make a playoff spot, all they have to do is very simple: throw him up top and watch magic happen.
Man, you know who they need over there to start moving some players around? Benny. Put Benny in Vancouver and let him play anybody anywhere.
God,
And he's coming back.
Benny's back. Oh man, that's fun. So go ahead, leave us a comment if you've got, you're listening to this and you got some ideas. Tell me who you think is going to finish in those bottom 3, 6, 7, and 8 in the West. Just have some fun with it.